Hi everyone, this is Kathy Grosskreutz with Bookkeeping Clean and Simple here in Austell, Georgia near Metro Atlanta. And today I want to talk about two of my latest tips when working with the QuickBooks Online bank feeds or banking center. And as you can see, I'm in the Kathy's Bookkeeping test file. And I noticed these have come up in a couple of recent cleanups that I've done and also some assisted cleanups that I've also done. So let's go ahead and start with the first one. I'm going to scroll down a little bit, and this right here is a transaction that is tagged as to record a transfer. What you want to do is, especially if this is a file that you haven't worked with before, you don't want to take some of these things at face value and actually go ahead and click through and look and see what's going on. Now I can tell you that with this particular transaction, this is not a transfer. A transfer is normally a lateral move of funds from two balance sheet accounts, or from one balance sheet account to the other, and this is not what this is. This is actually a refund of money that I spent for some training that I decided that I didn't want to do. So they refunded this to me, so I'm going to have to categorize it. So I'm going to come over here and click on the radio button for categorize, and then what I have to do now is go ahead and select the payee. And so I don't think this one is in here. If not, then I'm going to have to add it. Yeah, so I'm going to go ahead and add this payee. Let me make sure I typed that wrong. Yeah, I'm going to go ahead and have to add this one. I'll add it on the fly. It's actually a customer because you want to put it back in the same category that it came out of. So let me add this, and I normally don't recommend doing this on the fly, but this is a sample file, so I'm going to go ahead and do that. Tag it as a customer, so it's going to show up in our list right here. Otherwise, you can create a generic account or generic vendor customer name for this, but in this case I want to make sure I name this one. And then the category, like I said, is probably going to be something like professional development or something like that. So I'm going to go ahead and I can tag it as under continuing education or dues and subscriptions, and I'm going to go ahead and tag it as dues and subscriptions. Whatever you end up tagging it as, be consistent as you're going through. So with that, now I can go ahead and click on add, and that will move it out of the register here. But caution, you don't want to, just because it says record transfer, you don't want to assume that that's what you need to do, especially if it doesn't look right to you. You need to go in and try to figure out exactly what it is you need to do before you accept what the artificial intelligence is telling you to do. The other thing, and I've talked about this before, is when we're actually in here and dealing with the bank detail, and as you've heard me in other videos before, you always want to go ahead and copy bank detail to memo in the show bank details. And also, I also recommend that you turn off show suggested rules, which I already have those off. So anyway, the bank detail is going to show you what actually appears on the bank or credit card statement. So that's why you want to do that. Click on the bank detail category, and that will sort everything by alphabet here. And so what I want to do is kind of go down. If you see, I have several different transactions for like High Spirits Package. I also have a couple for Hyatt Place that are in here, those kind of things. Henry's. So all those are actually going to be done together. And let's see, probably the best way for me to do this. So you can use these categories to kind of help you organize things, to help you. So that's another help for you. But say for instance you want to go ahead and you see some of these that don't have a payee assigned, and you can actually do several of these all at once. There's that School of Bookkeeping one that they actually that I actually spent the first time. But I'm trying to see if I can find it. Here we go, Aldi and Lidl. Here's a good example of what I want to show you. So I'm going to go ahead and click on these two right here. And what I've done is I've actually created a category that I can use. And we talked about doing the batch, accept, and update and exclude. But basically what I want to do is I'm going to go ahead and show you based on what I've done. And this is also real helpful, especially if you have like several places where you go out to eat and they're going to be one-offs. So you want to create a generic category, like for in this case we can call it miscellaneous retail vendors. Even though it's a grocery store, you can also tag Walmart and all these other places like that. So that way you don't have a real long list. And then you can also categorize these as what they need to be categorized for. And let's just say that we're categorizing these for maybe, I don't know, guess we can categorize them as meals or something, or I know another one that we can use, maybe office supplies and materials, because you can actually buy some office supplies and materials there. And again, this is just a sample file. I'm not going to change the transaction type because you can do that. But in this case, what I'm going to do is I'm going to go ahead and do apply, so that way you can see what I just did with those. And you can see that when I did that, that assigned those two names or payees to that, and it also recategorized them. Now with those checked, I'm going to go ahead and click on accept. Now I could have did that in one transaction, do the update and accept, so that way you could have seen it just left the for review and is now in categorize. And then the final thing, like I said, is that you want to make sure that when you're going through here and like I said, here's another one. Kohl's is an example of that as well. And we can, and these are actually going to, and see what happens is if you don't have rules assigned, it's going to assume that that's what those go into. So we won't talk about rules here, but basically what I'm going to do with these is I'm going to go ahead and click on update again for those two. We're going to do the same thing with those. We're going to go ahead and let's see if Kohl's is already in here. It's not. So we're going to go ahead and use that miscellaneous retail vendors. And then the category for this is going to be, I'm going to go put owner's draw or owner's paying personal expense, because that's basically what those are personal. And you can also tag it to a customer if you want. Now if I go ahead and click on apply and accept, it's going to move those, it's going to apply and accept and move those out of the register. So let's see that happen. Yeah, they're gone. So if I was to go back up here and click on the categorized, then you'll see those two Kohl's transactions are in here. Owner's paying personal expense, and then that other one's in here, owner's paying personal expense. So go back to the for review, and really that's basically all I have for today. In other words, the most important thing to get out of this, the two things, is that when you're taking over a file and you see where it has add, or especially if you see where it has the category saying to record transfer or something, and you know for a fact it's not a transfer, you have to click through, determine what it is, and make that change in here. Like you could do that with any one of these. And the reverse is true. You can actually say, if you know that match to something you put in here, you can go ahead and click on find match and then try to find any matches, and we don't have any matches right now. So that is one of the things you want to do, is make sure you check all those transactions. As you get to learn the file, you don't have to do this as much. And then the second thing you want to do is you want to make sure that you create some generic names or generic pays, especially if you have a lot of one-offs on restaurants you may go to, or vendors that you visit, or retailers that you visit for whatever it is you need. So anyway, have a wonderful day, y'all. Take care, and we will see you soon. Thank you for watching. I would love it if you would subscribe to my channel and share it with others. My goal is to publish at least one new video per week on QuickBooks desktop or online topics, the occasional motivational video, and a few surprises thrown in here and there. I would love to talk to you about how to help you optimize your knowledge and usage of QuickBooks desktop or online. My Calendly link is in the slide. Please use that to reach out to me to schedule a free 45-minute initial consult. I would love to talk to you about your QuickBooks desktop or online training needs. Again, have a wonderful day, and until next time, we'll see you soon. Take care.